We weren't going to show you this, but we wanted to keep it real.
Here's a realistic van tour of what it's like to live in a van after 3 years. Move that toilet. This here, I can promise you, that is not dirt. This was the biggest pain in the arse, putting all this money into an old...
This dent. This
is my garage.
He's ripped off our rear quarter. The Big Bez is a VW LT35 2005 2.5 TDI and she is covered in rust and dents.
We built Big Bez about 3 years ago and it's taken a while to get to this point to make it feel like home. We ended up steaming through our budget for the build as we had no experience, so we was just buying things that we didn't really need to. Wood prices were really high because of COVID, so we ended up just hitting the road with it half finished.
We spent 6 months living with it like this before we came across some serious issues, but we'll get to that later in the video.
Let's show you around.
Starting with the door. So we're currently opening our door with a butter knife as the handle broke. Lovely. As you can see, we've had to rip half of the carpet off of our door. Also, we have various coffee stains. Willow loves attacking this bit every time she wants to get out the van.
So this is our front seating area. We've got 2 captain's chairs and we recently sprayed the dash. Last year we didn't have this up and we really wanted captain chairs, but we didn't know if this was possible. But we managed to find some cheap single seats on Facebook Marketplace from a full transit. With the help from a friend, we cut down the original double base to a single base and put the new chairs on top of that, and it worked out perfect. So that meant that we can now have the walk-through, which means we can get from the front to the back a lot easier than before. So now that this is our lounge, we wanted to make it a little bit more cozy. So we ended up spraying the dash with beige plastic coat. We put some nice beige carpets on the floor, and we added some Hessian to the underneath of our overhead cabinet.
This is our new seating area which keeps all of my clothes underneath, and our diesel heater. We've recently added new cushions. These are from Amanda Winston if you need cushions made professionally for your van. We definitely recommend her, these are beautiful. So taking down the bulkhead and having this mini bench seat has made it so much better than before, and it's so much more comfortable. This also meant that we could add a table into the living room area, which has opened it up so much. We can eat our dinner on here, and it's a nice little desk space. It's perfect.
This is actually a Leanne table, but it's not a Leanne table. It's a fake copy off of eBay, which is about £100 cheaper. This is where we keep our food in our Dometic fridge. It's a CRX50. It's got plenty of space for what we need, and it's also got a little freezer compartment up here. And this runs off a 12 volt, and it's a compressor fridge. So above the fridge, we've got our drawer. Now we know everyone's got a shit drawer, and this is our one. This is pretty much where we keep all of our leads, sellotape, bottles of empty stuff and crap, basically. Originally we didn't have that here. It was cut off there, but it didn't really make sense. So we put this in about a year ago, which means we've also got a little table above. And we also added an overhead cupboard above the seating area, which is also full of crap. And this is where we put all of our crap that we buy from our travels.
So this is our kitchen. It's pretty much stayed the same over the last few years. However, we did change the colour and add a few more bits. This is our sink. The tap isn't the best, if I'm being honest with you. Our last one broke, and now this one doesn't really reach the whole of the sink. So I've got this extendable kitchen countertop, which has given us so much more space, and it is so handy. These are our storage cupboards in our kitchen. So under our sink we have the waste pipe which goes from the sink down into our waste tank. We've got all of our toiletries and kitchen cleaning supplies. This one is Willow's dog cupboard. We've got a big box full of all her biscuits, treats, shampoos, water bottles. And under here we keep all of our plates and saucepans, pasta, dry food, stuff like that. And this is our cutlery drawer and tea towel drawer and whatever we can shove in there, like a bloody door handle that doesn't work.
Another shit drawer in the van.
There's crap everywhere, wherever we can store it. Up here we have our coffee, tea cups, eggs, peanut butter, all sorts of stuff. And this is where we keep spices, bread, sauce, powders.
Anything we can cram in there from the shop.
This is one of our favourite features of the van. This is our 1960s Calor gas oven. In this oven we've got 2 burners, we have a grill, and we also have an oven. This is connected to a 13kg gas bottle in the back, and it's perfect because it means that we can make easy oven dinners in the van, and we absolutely love the look of it. We added some shelves to our kitchen, so we made these shelves out of pallet wood. They were so cheap to make, and they house all of our spices. And then on this one we've got some hand soap and just a pot full of change. This actually bugs me so much, but you've got to do it in a van. You've got to utilise all the small spaces. Here, this is where we keep all our tea bags, and this little man from a charity shop. One of my favourite pieces in the van as well. This was actually my granddad's. This was in my nan's house, and when we cleared out her house, I just had to have it because he made it himself. But this is so handy, because where else would you keep your kitchen roll in a van?
It was the biggest pain in the arse in our van, the shower. And everyone told us before we built it that you're going to have a pain in the arse with it. We originally put a plastic motorhome shower tray, which turned out to be absolutely crap. It cracked in about 6 months. And then we also used, because of the weight issue, we wanted to use something really light. So we went for these shower panels, which are made out of plastic, but again, they're not very hard wearing. And all over you can see there's little holes that we've had to fill in. The shower bar is also mounted upside down, as I didn't know which way around the hot and cold was. So that was a whole nother situation where the shower bar didn't work, and we didn't realise it was upside down until we tried it out, and then it worked. So now we have a fully working shower. This is also where we keep our toilet and store our coats and jackets and towels. So to use the shower, we have to remove our toilet, put down a mat in here, take off all of our jackets, and then we can use the shower. Still, after 3 years, a work in progress. So after the last shower tray cracked, we decided to use resin to go over the top of it, which did make it solid, but it doesn't look the prettiest. So this is how it turned out after we resined the shower tray. Now this here, I can promise you, that is not dirt. I think something's reacted with the resin and it's just got a bit of a funny colour. So it is waterproof and it is solid. There is 6 layers of resin on this shower tray.
That thing ain't going nowhere.
It's just about tall enough for me to fit in, and Leanne has got plenty of room. We added these for a little bit of extra storage space for our shampoos and conditioners. We did have a shower holder up here, but that come off because it was a cheap plastic one. And our water drains through there into our waste tank. We do get hot water from that, but we'll explain how we get the hot water when we go to the back of the van.
So this is Bill's wardrobe with no cupboard handle, so we have to open it from the top because it fell off. Where we keep all of Bill's clothes, and then right at the bottom is where we keep all of our dirty laundry.
This is a real van tour, so I haven't cleared any of this up. This is genuinely a mess at the minute.
But it does the job. Moving on to our bedroom area. Up here is where I keep more of my clothes. Very messy, look at that.
Crammed in there.
We've got a 5'11" bed. Before we had a windowsill here, and this was completely flat, so it meant that we had to sleep curled up, which was so uncomfortable, and we did it for 2 years.
What we done is we had a whole load of insulation in this void here, which meant we lost literally that much on each side.
Either side.
We gained an extra probably 6-7 inches just from removing the insulation and putting some thinner insulation here and framing this out and putting some carpet on top.
So what we did before, we got a normal IKEA mattress and cut it down. With the new space, we didn't want to cut down another IKEA mattress, so we got a custom-made Duvet mattress, which is so comfortable, and they literally make it to the exact size you need it.
And some really comfy memory foam pillows. Now let's go to the back of the van. This is my garage. This is where we keep all of our tools. We've got our batteries, our water storage at the back, and our hot water system, but we will get into that. So we designed the back of the van with a raised bed over the back so we could have storage underneath. And this means that we can have our electrics in here, we can have our water tank, our gas, and our water system, and still have space to store all of our stuff. This is our water system. This stainless steel tank is full of engine coolant, which is connected to a Webasto diesel water heater underneath the van. This tank has got a heating element inside of it, which is surrounded by hot engine coolant, which is heated up from the Webasto. That means that we can pass fresh cold water through here, which then heats it up inside of this stainless steel tank, which then comes out of our shower and our taps. So that means that we can have endless amounts of hot water as long as we've got water in the tank. Before that, we had this connected to the front of the van, to the engine. This caused a whole load of problems, and it had leak after leak, and we literally had about 6 months of trying to find out what the issue was. So that pressure from all of the engine coolant created a leak in here, which then got under our floorboards. If you check out one of our videos from last year, we ended up with a huge leak under here, and we had so much mold when we pulled up the floor that we had to rip it out and redo the whole thing. But now, It's all good, it doesn't leak, and we have unlimited hot water. Our gas bottle is a 13 kilo Calor gas bottle, and this usually lasts us around 5-6 months of cooking every day on our cooker. So that is extremely efficient. We've currently got 2 AGM 110 amp hour batteries, which we've had to replace once in the last 3 years. We've also got a 185 watt solar panel on the roof, which charges up the batteries through our Victron MPPT charger. When we haven't got sun, we can also charge up the batteries through driving through our Victron DC to DC charger, which is so handy. So I know you're all thinking 185 watts of solar isn't a lot for full-time living, and you are right, we do need to upgrade our solar. So next year we're going to be looking into upgrading our solar and our batteries and pretty much our whole electrical system.
So Big Bez is a VW LT35 2005 long wheelbase 2.5 TDI. When we bought the van as an ex-motorbike transport van, she needed all of the doors replacing pretty much. The back doors, the driver's door, she had a hole in the roof, she was white and she was covered in rust.
So we decided to attempt to do all the bodywork ourselves and roller paint the van. We have done a video on that, so if you haven't seen that, go and check it out. The rust has started to come back and it's starting to get a lot worse.
Once we painted her, she looked fresh and clean, and then we hit the road and caused a few problems.
Literally within the first week of painting it, this happened.
This was a big bit of metal sticking out of a gate, which nearly ripped off our rear quarter. This dent was pulling into a car park that was way too small and scraping it against the bollard.
So yeah, we've just got little bits of rust that have appeared over the van because we didn't originally cut and weld the rust out, we just sanded it down and treated it. So a lot of people have said to us, why don't you just get a new van? Why are you putting all this money into an old beaten up LT35? And the reason for that is I don't know, what is the reason?
What is the reason?
We pretty much are just invested in Big Bez now, and one of the main reasons that we did choose it is because of the engine. 2.5 5-cylinder diesel engine. There's not a lot of electrics on this van, there's just very basic mechanics, and any country we're in and pretty much anywhere we are, we can get Bez repaired.
And she's taken us all over Spain and Europe last year. She's done so many laps of the UK. With a few problems and a little bit of money spent,
yeah,
she always comes back to life. She's just a bit ugly and beaten up.
She's just a bit ugly and beaten up, but we don't mind. She is an adventure wagon at the end of the day, and we're going to carry on keeping Bez alive.
So as you know, in September we are heading off on a huge winter adventure in Big Bez.
So between then and now, we are going to be repainting Big Bez and treating all of the rust and getting it up to spec.
A big project, mate.
So subscribe now for a new video every week.